As I think you know, nobody has been a bigger supporter and defender of Shedeur Sanders than I have been. I said it 1,000 times. The league done him wrong. League tried to teach him and his father a lesson. It was only that crazy owner in Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam, who saved Shedeur from falling even further than the 5th round. The Browns did finally take him 50 picks after the Browns had already taken Dillon Gabriel, who also happens to be a quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, who I thought should go first overall, fell to 5th string, 5th round pick of the Cleveland Browns. They have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, and you'd have to say Shedeur now brings up the rear in Cleveland, Ohio. Way to go, league. You did it. You punished him. So Shedeur opened up by saying all the right things about his disgusting plummet, and he did go straight up to Cleveland. He got to work trying to win over his new teammates, new coaches, and I was told by a very reputable, credible source that Shedeur immediately did impress everyone with his presence, with his body language, with his command, just with his star quality. He's a Sanders. Carries himself like a Sanders, like Deion's son. And he did immediately get out in the community. He began to attend charity functions in and around Cleveland. And he did, I assume, start to win over a number of fans. And then that happened, and that happened again. Not one, but 2 excessive speeding tickets in the Cleveland area, less than 2 weeks apart. First for going 91 in a 65 mile per hour zone, then for going 101 in a 60 mile per hour zone. And no, these aren't end of the world transgressions, though they obviously could be life-threatening, not only for Shedeur, but obviously for others around. But the point here is that the painful point here is Shedeur's not in Boulder anymore. He's a 5th round, 5th stringer just trying to catch on with the Cleveland Browns or maybe some other team's practice squad if Cleveland cuts him. And yet, on a silver platter, Shedeur just handed all of his critics and all of his doubters and all of his naysayers, I told you so Exhibit A, I told you so Exhibit B. Bam, bam, back to back. Oh, he's entitled. He's spoiled, rotten. He grew up with too much money. He thinks he's above the law. The last kid you'd want as the face of your franchise is this kid. See? So at least Shedeur could have issued an immediate statement saying something like, I take full responsibility as a representative of the Cleveland Browns, and this will never, ever happen again. Instead, I saw Shedeur respond kind of off the cuff. It looked like a charity softball game. And when he was asked about the speeding tickets, his answer was a laughing answer about the tickets. He was laughing through it, saying, yeah, I guess I learned my lesson. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. You can't scoff at that. You just can't. Shedeur, I don't care if you're the first overall pick in the draft or a 5th rounder, as a quarterback, as a potential face of a franchise, which I believe you can be and will be, you cannot get busted going that fast back to back. You just cannot. Your critics around the league are having a field day at your expense, self-inflicted. Told you so. We told you so. And by the way, if you want to put down a couple of early bucks on that, the only place to start is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It's the Cowboys, Lakers, Yankees all rolled into one. The place to be, the dominant franchise, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You can find all the best player props on FanDuel, get the latest stats right inside the app, see who's consistently hitting the over, who's flirting with triple doubles. Once the game starts, it can really get interesting when you start combining live prop bets into this same game parlay for a chance to win big. Remember, Summer League is right around the corner. At FanDuel, you get started with $200 in bonus bets. And if your first $5 bet wins, you get the $200. Just visit FanDuel.com / use my first name, Skip, /skip. FanDuel.com /skip to get started today. FanDuel.com /skip. If you'll allow me, this reminded me of my first year out of college, out of Vanderbilt. Times were tough. I sound like a grumpy old man, but times were tough. It was hard to get a job. I thought I had one back in Oklahoma City at the Oklahoman, called the Daily Oklahoman at that point. Sports editor called me 3 days before Vanderbilt graduation and said, hey, you can't come back. They'd already offered me a job because I'd worked there as an intern the summer before. He just flat out told me, you can't come back here. It's just, you're better than this. You don't want to come back here and get stuck here. He saved me. Frank Boggs, great columnist / sports editor, and he just told me, I'll find you another job. I'll find you a better job. I said, man, I'm only 3 days from graduation. He found me a job at the Miami Herald, but I had to start in the bureau office in West Palm Beach. They had a bureau in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and then the Palm Beach bureau up in West Palm. And my first day on the job after they hired me, the sports editor of the Miami Herald called me up in the bureau office and said, look, I just want you to know I just hired you, and I hired a kid out of your arch rival school, Tennessee, in Knoxville, talented kid, and the two of you are going to compete over the next 6 months to a year for a slot to come downtown and work at the big paper, the Miami Herald sports section in Miami, and you're on the clock. Good luck to you. That sports editor was named Ed Storn, and he was nicknamed the Hornet, and he was tough. And he put the fear of God in me because I didn't have any money. My father had left. Our little hole-in-the-wall barbecue restaurant was failing because my mother was trying to run it while also drinking like my father drank. And it was sink or swim for me. And right away, I don't know, a couple of weeks in, I got a speeding ticket in West Palm. I don't know, the roads were pretty open then. And this is like a 40 mile an hour speed zone where I was going 55 or something. I don't know. I wasn't going 100. And 2 weeks later, I got a second one just because I was so focused on doing my job. I got to get here and interview him, and I got to go over there and interview her, and I got to make it on time, and I got to do this. I was writing 5 pieces a week and having to arrange what they call the pictures for 5 pieces a week for the Palm Beach section of the Miami Herald. And I'm fighting for my professional life. And I was horrified. I got 2 speeding tickets. Again, it was like for 50 and a 35 or something. I mean, I was driving a Chevy Vega, I think it was. It's kind of a putt-putt, but at least go 50. The point was, I was so horrified, I put signs all over my car, handwritten signs, slow down, don't drive fast. I put everything, think. I put them all over, scotch taped them all over the dashboard. Because I couldn't afford to get, what if I lost my license and I couldn't drive? Horrified. I didn't grow up with money. I couldn't go back to money. And it drove me to win that job downtown at the Miami Herald sports section. And it drove me within 2 years to get hired out here by the Los Angeles Times. And it drove me 3 years later to get hired as a 26-year-old, maybe I was 27-year-old columnist at the Dallas Morning News, a boy wonder. It drove me. Shedeur, you got to be driven, man. This is it. This is your shot. It's going to come and it'll go. I believe in you with all my heart and soul. You're a tough young man. You took so much punishment over the last 2 years, so much punishment. You showed me real mental and physical toughness. You have big time ability and command of that position, deadly accurate, plenty of arm, clutch. You got the whole package, Shedeur. Think. Make some at least mental signs. You just can't. You can't do that, or you're going to wind up back home with your dad. You're better than that.